Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Forgive me, I was sick all of last week. So I've got tea and I'm coughing, but I'm much better. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this without a whole bunch of let me put my phone on do not disturb so people don't call me. So hopefully we'll get through this without too much hacking and hucking and looking. So I hope you guys are all happy and healthy and everything is well in your worlds and there's not hacking and hucking and stuff in your where you all are. I want to take a minute to continue to extend my gratitude for so many outpourings of love and support for me during this time. It's still grief is unpredictable, and grief comes in waves, and relationships affect us in different ways when they transition. And so many of you have reached out to me to share love and support or stories of your twin or things like that. And then I just want to continue to express my love and gratitude and my total appreciation for that. We are truly all one community of love and light, and when we can all come together, it makes such a huge difference. I do want to, yes, see, there's Toby. He's in his drawer, hanging out. So if you see, white fluffiness moving in the corner, that's Toby. So my executive dog. This is disgusting, I want to tell you, but it has saved my life this past week. It's hot water with honey, lemon, lavender, and cayenne pepper. Now, I want to tell you, I hate honey, but it does calm the throat. But this has been the thing, because I won't do medication if I can help it. If there's not a legitimate reason for me, I believe my body will fight it off. And I know where I am my whole life, my body holds on to a cough. A lot of people are like that. But I want to just say, when you start looking at, homeopathic things that can help, warm water or hot water, honey, lemon, peppermint, lavender oil, peppermint oil, and cayenne pepper has been a lifesaver. It's not tasty, but it's been a lifesaver. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not the worst thing I've ever eaten. But okay. So I'm super happy to be back, mostly healthy, and to be able to spend the time with you guys. I did put a post yesterday about the retrograde, because yes, we're in retrograde. We're going to be in retrograde for a while. So this retrograde is going to go on till like the 10th of March. So I think one of the things that's really, really important is to understand that retrograde is not here to screw us up. Retrograde is here to help us. Retrograde is here to help bring things to the surface for us to see and be able to notice in our lives, to understand what's going on and what may need to shift. Okay, our life is not happening to us, it's happening for us. And when we can understand that everything in the universe is working together to help move us forward in a better way, to help move us forward where we are releasing things that no longer serve us. Like, I release this cough. I am so ready to release this cough. It does not serve me. So when we're releasing the things that no longer serve us, instead of holding on to those things, we really are able to move our vibration higher. We're able to manifest things to come to us more quickly, and we're able to release the lower vibration things that don't serve us. Okay, having said that, so we are still in retrograde. We are also to the tail end of the new moon. So we had the new moon over the weekend, which is great, because we know the energy goes up to the full moon and it gets all intense and crazy. And some people are more affected by that than others. And then it comes down to the time of the new moon. And as we come down, we can feel depleted. We can feel I never want to say unsupported by the universe, but we can feel more worn out, more tired. We can feel more heavy to the earth. How sometimes we feel very light in our bodies, and other times we can feel very heavy to the earth. So in the time of the new moon, the energy is very low, the pull of the moon, because she's not fully visible to us and she's not pulling at us in quite the same way. And so it allows us that time of clarity, that time, especially in a retrograde, to really look around. It's like when I lived in, gosh, I've lived so many places, but I lived in South Carolina, in Charleston, South Carolina, a couple of times. And I lived out on Folly Beach, which is one of the islands, one of the beaches out off of Charleston. You take the bridge to go over. It's beautiful. But the first time I lived there, there was a north of, street X, Y, and Z, and a south of street X, Y, and Z. The second time I lived there, it was after a huge hurricane had come through. And there was a north street X, Y, and Z, but not south of street X, Y, and Z, because the hurricane had just destroyed all that stuff. But you couldn't really, you knew the streets used to be there, houses used to be there. When the tide would go out, you could literally still see. Now, over time, the sand comes in and you don't really see it anymore. But in the beginning, you could literally see the streets and the sidewalks, and you could see the terrain where this was a street, this was a sidewalk, this was someone's lawn, and this was all the demarcations that used to be streets here, but they were no longer there because the hurricane had wiped them out. So when the tide comes back in, you can't see those things. When the tide goes out, you can see those remnants that are there. And so you can see things more clearly when the tide goes out. So when the moon is in its new moon or no moon, and it does not have that pull on us, that it's like the tide going out, and we can see things more clearly because we're not being pulled by all these other external forces. We can see things more clearly. Okay. And again, that's part of what a retrograde is for, to allow you to see things more clearly of what it is that's going on around you, with you, and for you. So again, our life is not something that happens to us. Like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened to me. Okay? Everything that happens, bless you, is for you. It's to show you something, to move you somewhere, to shift you in some way. Our life is happening for us. So as we continue to be in the end of this new moon energy, because as the new moon portal closes, that energy is going to start to go back up towards the full moon. So as we're still in this new moon energy and the retrograde energy, this is really the time, if you haven't done it yet, to take a look around and really get quiet and understand what is it that's going on around you. Where are you being guided? Where are you being pushed, pulled, led? It's really amazing because that came out. It's really amazing because if you allow, there are signs to guide us just everywhere. There are signs to guide us. And so, but we get so caught up in the noise and we can't see or hear because the tide is in, that we miss so many things. So if you can get quiet while this time where the energetic tide is still out, you can see more things that are going on around you and where the universe may be trying to shine a light for you. Because here's the thing that's happening. So here's our first card for this week. And again, we're using Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle. I think these cards are so incredibly beautiful. Even the back is just, they're so beautiful to me. So we're using these cards. And so the first, it's the crumbling, and it says, what are you clinging on to? And again, this is really what the retrograde and the time of the new moon is really allowing us to look at. What are we still holding on to that no longer serves us? And I want to really draw your attention to this card because look how beautiful this is. So here is the stuff that's dark and thunder and the big stones and dark and ominous and the lightning. And then we go in, once we let it crumble and we let it fall away, look at the beautifulness that's waiting for us in the middle. So there is so much light that is waiting for us. We just have to be willing to take that step forward. And that starts with getting quiet and allowing for that time to really hear and see and feel what is going on around us and what is the universe trying to show us. What are our guides trying to show us? Where are we being pointed? Okay, because so often we're like, I want to go there, which is great, but maybe if you shifted just a teeny bit, there was something better that's so close to what you want. I tell this story a lot. Most of you know I'm also still a director with Mary Kay Cosmetics. I've been with Mary Kay for so long. I love, excuse me, I love that part of my life. I can't imagine giving it up. And since there's not really a need to, I'm very blessed to be able to do both things. I did drive a pink Cadillac for over a decade. I earned several cars with Mary Kay, 2 of them being pink Cadillacs. And when we first earned our very first pink Cadillac, we ended up with an SUV, a Cadillac SUV. The company had offered at that time two different kinds of a Cadillac. We could get the traditional DeVille kind of a sedan thing, or they were offering for the first time, they were offering an SUV. Well, our children were young. And so having that extra space with the kids and the third row of seats and the cargo space and all their gear for soccer and all the stuff that we were doing with them was really wonderful to have. Oh, I'm so sorry. To have this big SUV. But in all the years I had been in Mary Kay, up to that point, only the DeVille had been offered, only that sedan. So in my mind, what looked like success of earning that pink Cadillac was the sedan. That was the movie that played in my mind. And so even when, and I just kept working. And so even when we picked up the Cadillac and it was parked in my driveway, I kept looking out the window staring at it. And my husband's like, "What's the matter with you?" I'm like, "It looks wrong. Like, it doesn't look right." It didn't look wrong. It just didn't look right in my driveway because in my mind, it looked like something else. But the universe had something so much better in mind for me because the sedan would not have worked for our family. And that SUV worked for our family so well that when we earned our second pink Cadillac and General Motors had changed the body style, we took the money option from Mary Kay and bought that car because that car worked for our family so well. So the universe had something much better in mind for me. I just had to shift that one little bit. I was aiming over there for the DeVille, but then they were like, no, shift over here. This is going to be much better for you. So it really to allow the universe to shift us. So when we stop holding on to the things that we think that we need and we allow those things to crumble away, there is something so much more beautiful that is waiting for us if we will allow it to unfold and to be revealed from the crumbling, putting things away. Stop, Toby, stop. It's like those paintings you used to color when we were little that had the black paint on top and you had to scrape it away to see the beautiful painting underneath. Allow it to scrape away. This is the time to do that with the retrograde and the new moon energy. This is the time to allow those things to crumble away. Because this is then, I'm going to hold over here, this is when we can be more connected to our Akashic records. The Akashic records, the library of everything that ever is, was, or will be for our soul. Everybody has one. It's like the Library of Congress for your soul, for every lifetime that you've had, for everything. It is your infinite wisdom that connects to your soul, that connects to your records of everything you've ever done, seen, thought, been, said, gone. Ugh, this is so infuriating. I'm so sorry. I had a cough drop, but I ate it already. So the Akashic records, when we are quiet and when we are allowing the things to crumble away, then we are more able to connect into our Akashic records and get connected with our higher guidance, our record keepers, and to really be able to ask them, what do I need to know? What are you trying to show me? Where are you trying to lead me? What is my purpose? Where am I going? And to really be able to hear and see and feel and discern that wisdom that comes when we get quiet, but also when we let go of the things that are no longer serving us. So our Akashic records are truly here to help us. We have to be willing to take that time to sit in them and to sit in the quiet and to trust the universe again, that everything is happening for us, not to us. Okay. And so having that discernment that the retrograde energy is to shift us in a positive way. It's not meant to harm us. Okay. And how much drama we get involved in when a retrograde comes around is really up to us, because there's always going to be a retrograde. The orbits of our planets are elliptical. There's always going to be something going into retrograde. And Mercury happens to be a lot. So you can allow your life to get into turmoil every time, where you can learn to listen to what it is that these energetic shifts are trying to tell us. So the fact that it's coming at a retrograde and a new moon is such a great time for us to be listening. And because then we have the ever unfolding rose. And this I love, because we are the ever unfolding rose. We are the layers of us to really get into the core of who we are and what we're here for. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me as I just continue to hack through our conversation. But this says, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. And so I love this part. I love this part of it because there's so many layers to us. And when we allow ourselves to really go a little deeper, to go a little deeper in our own process, and to be able to really unfold who we are and what we're here for, it makes such a big difference to the impact that we can have on the universe and on those around us. So I'm going to cut this a little bit short because the coughing is just being so annoying to me. I can't imagine how annoying it must be for you. So we have the crumbling, where we allow things to let go, the things that we don't need, the things that no longer serve us. That brings us to where we can hear and know into our Akashic records, and to be able to work in that and to hear what is our higher guidance, and to be able to explore and get to know ourselves better, so that we can understand that we are all love. We are of love. We are from love. We are all from the divine. We are all connected, and that there is so much more to us if we can look through the layers of the things that keep our attention in the material world. When we can take some time and go a little deeper, we can really get to know so much more about ourselves, and to really understand our purpose here in the universe. So, having said all of that, where's my hair? I want to take a minute and read our postcard from the universe, so that we have that. And so again, I pull these cards from the wonderful Colette Baron Reed, from her deck, Postcards of the Universe. I don't read them before when I pull them. I just trust that it's going to have some relevance to what we're talking about today. So it says, "Dearest you, we bet you must be so exhausted some days, giving as much as you do and sharing your energy so beautifully in service to the highest good can leave you feeling depleted, like an empty well. If it feels as if there's no more water for you, the good news is we have a plan. Today, go take a relaxing bath, book a massage, read a novel, buy yourself flowers, or plant some in your garden. Make time for self-care, not more, quote, work on yourself. By tending to yourself now, you are reminded to do so more often, and be sure that you use a word that might have caused you anxiety in the past, but is essential for your well-being now. The word is no. Say it with us. No, thank you. No, I can't. You do not have to explain. Just say no, gently and firmly, then go for a soak. Life will wait for you to bring yourself back to center, replenished and ready for more adventure. We love you so very much." Then that might be for me, but I think it's also for all of us. So again, we're letting go of the crumbling, the things that no longer serve us, the things that are not here for our highest and best good, the things that are just not about where we are right now and where we need to be. And then to be allowing ourselves to get more connected to our higher guidance through our Akashic records, and then also to get to know oneself better, as we all are that ever unfolding rose, to really understand the deeper layers of yourself, what you came here to do and what you're really about, and who all is in the soul that is part of this human existence. I am very excited to share that I'm just about to complete the Akashic Records certification as an Akashic Records reader. So I'm so excited to be adding that more officially. It's something I have been doing, but it's something excited to add it more officially into the list of things that I can do to help you to be a reader for your Akashic records. And so I'm really excited for that. So if you are looking, as you are connecting more with your Akashic records, if that's something that I can help with, I would be so delighted. Also, I'm going to be looking at setting up a time maybe once a week or once a month where we can get together here and do some live readings just for a few minutes and really check in with people. So I apologize again for my coughing fit throughout this video, but thank you so much for hanging in there with me, and I look forward to talking with you all next week with no coughing. So thanks for spending a few minutes with me. Stay in the light. Remember, retrogrades are not here to harm us. They're here to help us. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Happy new moon. And as we come into the end of this week, happy leap day. Have a great week, you guys.